Hey Scorpio, it's Jen here. Um, I'm doing your mid-May reading, and Scorpio, I don't spend as much time channeling for these mid-Mays. I'm just it takes a lot of time. Um, but yours, I had to just start rolling. So for you, I just got that you are going to surprise the hell out of people. And it could be something stemming from you had your full moon in April, on the 27th, I think. Is that on this? Yeah, April 27th, full moon in Scorpio. Um, and I think you are going, like your friends, people who know you are going to be like, whoa. I mean, for some, I guess it could be, well, I'm not getting that though. What I'm getting is that, for example, if you were a confirmed bachelorette, I feel like that's just a term for people who've been single for a long time. Um, but you will all of a sudden like be in a relationship, or like there's going to be some sort of big shift or change in you that may surprise people. You know, Scorpios, you guys are very, you don't go blabbing your business to anyone and everyone. And so you may have confided, but you may not. You may not have really confided in anyone. And again, it's not unusual for you not to confide in a lot of people. You're just very private that way. And in the same way, you'll keep secrets of other people. So that's in no way a criticism at all. But because you maybe have been thinking about it for a long time or whatever, your still waters run deep. So there's a lot going on below the surface. But other people wouldn't know that, right? And so, okay, so here's one other spin on this is that deep down, your intuition has always told you the way something would go. And this is kind of like a long game thing. So when it happens, you are not nearly as surprised or not surprised at all um, compared to other people because you're like, yeah, I sense that. I sense this. It doesn't have to be good or bad. This isn't necessarily bad, good, or anything. Surprise doesn't hold a negative or a positive, just in definition. I don't think, because you can have a happy surprise or yeah. It feels positive to me. It feels like, and I think this is that. So in May on the 26th, we have the pink full supermoon lunar eclipse in Sag. And Sag, that moon will help you really break free and move forward. Sag doesn't like to be tied down. They don't like to be weighed down. They don't like to, they like their freedom, and they like to travel, and they like to be spontaneous and learn new things and have philosophical conversations. It's higher learning. It's expansive. And I've been saying, something in people's lives, and this is an eclipse too, so we have to go back. I forgot to say this for Libra. Go back 6 months or go forward 6 months. Shit, I'm on. What was going on around October? So that could be your birthday, right? Or Scorpio. Yeah. And then going forward 6 months. So this year, your birth year, your new solar return year, whatever you call it. Sort of big things happening. But again, Jupiter expands. And if you think about a science experiment and a controlled environment, there's only so much something can expand before it breaks the thing it's in or pushes something out or whatever. So it's like this new sort of saggy feeling of, and for a fixed sign, this is really can be a bit much. Sag is a bit much. They can feel all over the place, very spontaneous, because they don't feel the need to be tied down by sort of social constructs and things like that. They're just like, why can I only eat, um, you know, eggs at breakfast or something? Maybe that's an American thing. But yeah, like, why can't I eat spaghetti for breakfast? Like, they're just like, that's stupid. I'm not, that doesn't make any sense. That's not a rule. There's no reason for that. Um, and so they are just unencumbered by certain things that other people may feel is really important. Again, this can be super annoying in some ways, especially um, to someone who really likes control and order. They can feel very chaotic. But as a fixed sign, you guys can use a little bit of spontaneity and chaos. And chaos. I didn't mean to say chaos. It's going to feel like chaos, maybe, but a little spontaneity and, I don't know why I said chaos. Um, Movement in, it's like getting you out of your comfort zone, getting you up and out. It's almost like maybe on some level you've just been going, oh my God, we can do this for decades. People do this for their whole lives. You can just be kind of, okay, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's where I live, here's my daily routine, and get really trapped in that routine. And so every once in a while something happens and you kind of wake up and are like, wait a minute, I want more. I feel like something's missing in some area, and I've just been coasting or going through the grind, going through the motions here. For someone that I wasn't reading, I wasn't doing a lot of channeling. I'm getting a lot of channeling, sorry. Yeah, so I feel like it'll light a fire under you, kind of. And you guys are super motivated, but it's different. It's moving you in a new direction. I brought my plants home from work. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my background here. And that one. Actually, you have a couple. Let's just take them. You have a couple more that really wanted to come out. 6 of Wands, damn. Victory right on the bottom. Yeah, this is gonna feel positive to you. You'll get some sort of recognition. I never read this card this way, but this could be some recognition within yourself. Again, maybe something that your ego or you had been suppressing for some reason. And now you're like, wait, why am I suppressing that? Why can't I do that? What's the problem with this? Like, you're just, again, unencumbered by some arbitrary way of thinking. Oh, this gorgeous Empress. This is a very earth-oriented, grounding card, even though I believe the Empress encompasses all the queens, and she can relate and work with all the queens, but she's often described as Mother Earth, so I think she does lean towards being an earth sign herself. This is Mother Earth. This is giving birth to something. It's very fruitful. It's very creative. It's very nurturing. So the Empress doesn't demand and micromanage and direct and lay down laws. And this is kind of going with that, like letting go of these sort of somewhat arbitrary rules around something. She nurtures. If she sees a child, for example, that looks like they enjoy drawing or have an affinity to something, she'll she will put art supplies around, for example, but she's not going and offer maybe art school or something, or lessons in something or whatever, to do things with this child, but she's never going to force it. She's not going to impose what she thinks the child should do on the child. She organically allows that soul to figure their own way out and trust that that's the right way, whether she sees it that way or not. Seven of Pentacles. I want to see what this one is too. Okay, this is interesting. So it seems like in some area you've been very passive. And just being passive and patient. And again, and passive sounds kind of negative, but I don't mean it negative. Just sort of patiently waiting and staying out of something like we just talked about. But the Seven of Pentacles is an interesting card because, yes, she waited and tended to this tree, and now it's bearing fruit. But lots of things in life are not that clear cut. How long do you give a relationship to see if it's going to work itself out? How long do you give a job to see if they're actually going to come through with that raise they promised you? Or how long are you going to live somewhere where you're constantly, annoyed you don't have a yard, or wishing you were closer to here, or hating the weather or whatever? How long do you give that? Is there a perfect timing for changing that? I don't know. That could be part of this realization that, what am I waiting for? What magic thing am I waiting for? This reminds me of the Fool. I think the Fool is at the top of the spiritual ladder, and lots of people have it at the beginning, but there is a little bit of debate in tarot about this, and I am firmly, and probably because I'm a Sagittarius, I love the Fool energy. I think the Fool is at the top because there are all these lessons as we go through the major arcana. Be balanced, be assertive, get rid of your demons, learning to deal with the catastrophic event that you can't control, healing from that. It's like you're trying to, okay, I'll do this when I have the perspective and the maturity and the wisdom and the life experience and I'm balanced. And the Fool is like, well, fuck it, it's never going to happen. I'm just going to go and and live my life the way I want and do the best I can with the information I have. Because if I wait for the perfect time to do something, there's always going to be something. There's never necessarily a perfect time. Is there a bad time? I guess, but and of course sometimes there does seem to be perfect timing, but lots of things in life, it's not clear cut. Oh, the fruit either grew or it didn't. It was either successful after a certain amount of time or it wasn't. But this is burdening you with this Ten of Wands, whether you have realized it or felt it or not. This is a burden that needs to be released, which is that full moon energy. You have to release something in order to allow the expanse of this new thing, the Jupiter energy, the Sag energy is bringing in. What are these other cards that fell? The Lovers. Ooh la la. Here's Sag front and center. Good Lord, look at this fire. An Ace of Wands. Like, how phallic is that? Wow. There may be a new romance coming in that you just did not see coming, did not think it was possible. Maybe you had resigned yourself in your marriage and there's an awakening in it, or you meet someone, or you, I don't know. But this is a pretty big event. This is passion. This is, yeah, maybe that's what, if you've been single too, meeting someone and this just, you didn't realize. Did we talk about, I do so many readings, I forget what I've said even while I'm within the reading itself. So the lovers is soulmates, if you're into that thing. But the way I see soulmates, and I've had this happening, I could think some people will say it's like love at first sight, but I've had this happen where I've met people, and it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. And there is a connection there. And then I've also met um, guys I would date and kind of had a flip floppy. It's happened only a couple times. And I've often wondered, and I haven't, and it was never, they're married. I mean, it wasn't something, but I was like, something about me recognized that person. Like there was, I don't know. And I don't know what I believe. I kind of leave it up to, I don't know. It'll be interesting if I ever get to find out. I can't pretend to understand um, beyond the science of our universe, if what may, multiverses and all that stuff. I'm just like, you know what? I bet you my mind, I'll try to expand my mind, but I'm willing to say my mind maybe can't comprehend it. I don't know. But so there's some sort of awakening in a sense, like, whoa, wait. I think it would have been a little bit of a striking meeting, I guess. And the Queen of Wands. Well, you know what's kind of interesting though, for some of you, the Queen though. I mean, we have these. We have these two over here together, and this Queen's like, I'm moving on, and I'm fired up to move on. So it could be that a relationship has broken up, and the one of the at least one of the people have moved on quickly, or it doesn't even, just anytime you find out an ex has moved on, I think it can be a little bit of a punch in the gut. But your mindset is so positive and forward thinking because of these chains that have been removed from your thinking, I think, more than anything, that you're just moving forward. You may look to a Leo, a fire sign. I mean, I can't remember. The lovers is probably Gemini, the twins, which is the opposite. We have this opposite aspect between Sag and Gemini. But this queen's passionate and determined, and she's moving forward, and look how fabulous she is, and she is not, I don't know, it's like she's excited to move forward, and she can't believe she is, but now that she can, she's just the mojo, her mojo back. She got her mojo back. This spark was ignited in her. And she's ready to move forward, and it breathes new life into your world. And now, a lot of times these tarot readings seem really like, oh my God, my whole life is going to change. This could be just one small aspect of your life that you could feel that you're freed from something, or you're excited to move forward. It doesn't have to be your relationship falls apart if you're in one and you lose your job and move. Like, I'm not saying that. It tends to be much subtler than that. But for some of you, it's going to still make a huge impact on your life, your outlook, something like that, if that makes sense. Even if externally not a whole lot has changed. These May readings, or this Sag moon, I think between the Scorpio, your moon, and full moon in April 27th, which I really felt was a big one. Because Scorpio and Sag are big energies. Scorpio's intense and deep, and Sag is then expansive and let's move forward. So they kind of take whatever happened around that Scorpio full moon, and it's like, okay, enough. If it was something where you were kind of processing, they're like, time to move on, let's go. Jump on board, like get on, or you're missing your turn. And I think you heed the call and move forward. Real with excitement, which may surprise you a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Scorpio. Take care. Bye.